Okay, hi everybody. My name is John Lincoln with Ignite Visibility, and today I want to go back to basics. I want to talk about title tags for SEO, and these are so important, so important. If you don't know how to properly structure a title tag, you're never going to get ranked. So this video is going to show you exactly how to deal with title tags for your website. So first thing to keep in mind, title tags are only in the code of your site, okay? And they're actually what the search engine crawls. They see that, they look at the keywords within the title tag. It's one of the most important ranking factors for on-site optimization. So making sure your keywords are in there is super important. When Google crawls that, they see the title. If the keywords are in there, they will consider ranking you for that term, okay? So it's only in the code of your site, but it's also what Google most of the time takes and then displays within the search results, okay? So they get to make that decision, but in most cases, they're gonna see what's in the title, they're gonna take that and they're gonna list that for the search results, okay? So most of the time, what you're gonna do is try to get 2 to 3 keywords within your title. Now, you don't always wanna do that, right? Certain posts or certain pages, you might wanna only focus on one keyword instead of trying to stuff a bunch of terms in there. Also, in some cases, this might not be a page for SEO, right? This might be a page that you just want to get a lot of shares on social media. You don't care so much about getting it ranked for a term, you just want to try to make sure that it has really high click-through rate. So keep that in mind. Not every single page, not every single post, not every single white paper, not everything needs to be optimized for SEO. Certain things can have more of a social effect as far as what you're looking to do online. But assuming that we are trying to get this page ranked for SEO, this is generally what you're gonna do. First, your title's gonna be in your head section of your page, right, within your code. And what you're gonna do is generally you'll have anywhere from 2 to 5 keywords that you've assigned to a specific page on your website. You'll take that most important keyword, we call it the primary keyword, and try to get that up towards the front of the title as much as possible. The closer to the front that main keyword is, the better chance that you have to rank for that term in Google, okay? So you wanna get your primary keyword up towards the front, and then your secondary keyword, which hopefully is along the same theme as your primary keyword, right? It's not totally off topic, it's not like coupons and apples or something like that, right? Or actually there could be coupons for apples, I suppose, but motocross and something totally out of the blue, like real estate, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, right? So you have these 2 keywords in there, and then you want to have compelling text towards the front, but not too much because you want your keyword to be towards the front, and then compelling text potentially in the middle, and then also compelling text towards the back. Now keep in mind that you only have 50 to 60 characters to do this, so it creates quite a puzzle. And as somebody who's been doing SEO for a long time, I can't tell you how many times I've sat there and just stared at a title tag and tried to get it to be perfect. And I can't tell you how many times members of our staff and friends and colleagues have done the same thing, but it actually is that important. And if you get this page ranked, it could be massive revenue for your site, so you need to take the time, right? So here we have an example blog post. So generally in blog posts, if I'm gonna optimize that for something, I kind of just put in 1 keyword, usually not 2 or 3. Blog posts need to have very, very compelling headlines. In some cases, a little bit more even than a particular service page or a product page or something like that. So recently I actually did this post. It was on SEO reporting, 19 reports your boss wants to see. So what we have here is we have the main keyword towards the very, very front, right? And this post actually ranks page 1 now for the term SEO reporting, which is a great term for our industry being an SEO company. And then we've got some information back here. So the user comes in and sees this, and then they see this, and then like 19 reports my boss wants to see. I better figure out what that is, right? But the search engine sees the SEO reporting right here. They also see this in the H1, the H2, throughout the copy, in the image optimization, all that good stuff, right? And then it knows that that is what we want to rank this page for. Now, not every single blog post needs to have the keyword exactly, at the very, very front. So keep that in mind. I mean, you have to make sure that it makes sense for the post topic, for the user. So if there's a couple other words in front, it's not a big deal. Now, when it comes to pages, you're gonna see people probably put a couple more keywords in there for a particular service page that they really, really want to get ranked. So an example page that we have is pay-per-click company San Diego, right? We've always ranked great for that term. We rank great for all of our local terms, great for all of our national terms, but basically we're going after the term pay-per-click company. This is a regional specific optimization, right? Because 3 years ago we were a newer company and we're starting local before we go national, which is always a good idea, just to own your market before you go to the next market. We've also got best in here, service, and ROI. So while this is not the kind of primary, secondary necessarily, what it is optimizing this page for pay-per-click company, best pay-per-click company, pay-per-click service, and also it has ROI in there because the person who is reading this probably wants to get ROI from their pay-per-click ad spend, right? So there's one other thing I want to talk about today, and when we're dealing with really big websites, which I've dealt with a lot of, there's a lot of cases where you need to do dynamic optimization. And what that means is you might have thousands or millions or even 100 pages, right? And what you need to do is you need to create specific fields that can be filled in with information. Whether that information is location specific, right? San Diego, Las Vegas, whatever. Whether it's category specific, whether it's service specific, it doesn't matter. But this gives you the ability to optimize a lot of pages at once. And the way that you structure these templates can basically make or break your success online for SEO. If you're going to be applying a set of rules to millions and millions of pages or just a lot, you got to make sure you do it right. So when it comes to dynamic optimization, you basically have 50 to 60 characters, and then you usually put in anywhere from 1 to 3 fields, right? And these fields are going to be populated with the information that you're trying to optimize the page for. So, this is a big thing in SEO, and most of the advanced SEOs will have done this, and this would be an example of this. So the text might be best, the field 1 might be Xbox games, and the field 2 might be 2016, right? So now I can use this same concept and I can do PlayStation games 2015, right? And I can kind of go along the lines, and by structuring this title correctly, I can use this set of rules to optimize for best, the type of game console, and then the year. And by doing that, I can save a lot of time. Generally it's a good idea to go through and do most of your titles manually. But if you look at Google Search Console and you know that you're getting really high click-through rates on specific titles, why not take those principles and apply them to more of the titles on your site so that you can get higher click-through rates? So these are some important things on title tags for SEO. If you have any questions, make sure to comment on the video, and I hope you have a great day.